Okay, in this video, I'm going to tell you why Texas Hold'em is the most important and the most applied game that you'll ever come across. I mean, Age of Empires is pretty good, Mario Bros. Pretty good, but, Texas Hold'em takes the cake. And the reason is that it's about people, it's about strategy, and it's about the mechanics of the game. But it's more about the psychology of the game than anything else. And so let me explain. So, if you don't know how to play Texas Hold'em, Wikipedia. All right, go check it out. It's on TV all the time. But it's a poker game. It's a game of poker, and so you have your different hands. Say a flush or a full house or a straight or things like that. So most people are aware of that, and they're also aware of usually how the mechanics go. You have two cards that are hidden in the hole, and then you have the community cards up at the top. And so it's easy to learn the game initially, no problem. People can get that, and then they think, oh, I understand the game, and then the next thing they usually think about is, which hand should I, not should I, stay in with, and what hand should I fold, and that's cute, but that's not the game. And so then you get the community cards, and you have betting, and all this stuff goes on, and but what the game is actually about is managing expectation and managing perception. Okay, and the perception one's where the interesting thing comes in, because it's a game theory thing, it's a strategy thing. It's actually more about understanding the minds of your opponents. Okay, so the mechanical parts, any guy who can handle numbers or anything like a mechanical aspect, they can figure out what to fold, what to keep, betting, manage expectations and probability. Big deal. That's a big deal. What it's about is understanding your opponents and being able to not just read them but understand them, and to have your actions influence their perception, and to be able to understand how they actually see you as well. See, that's very important. So if they see you as like a tight player or a loose player or something like that, that's important to know. And each person at the table is going to see you differently, and you must understand each of their perceptions, and you must manage each of their perceptions, and you must do that also while being aware of what you're doing, being aware of what they're doing, and how they perceive each individually. So that's why it's a very interesting game, is because it's actually a psychological game, and you will see that even say one person at the table bets $100, and you think, oh man, that's a lot. Maybe it's not. Maybe he's a billionaire. Maybe that's nothing to him. And you have to understand that. You have to understand what is of value to him, what is a lot to him, what's a little to him or her, I should be saying, in all this. And so, again, it's a very deep psychological game, and it's tiring if you play it seriously. So how does that apply to the real world? So in business or in an organization or in a relationship or anything like that, you also have this game of incomplete information. And you also have mechanics to it. So certain things work a certain way, and you can figure that out. And if it's technical, you have technical people. If it's in operations, and you have an operation or a process, and it's that can be figured out. That's actually easy. It's a hard science to a lot of that stuff. And there's the soft part, and the soft part is the strategy and the competitive edge, and understanding your customer, and understanding what appeals to them, and what people want, and their emotions, and how it's perceived. And so that's where the poker aspect comes in, where you're trying to manage these perceptions of, maybe you want people to think your brand is the best, or maybe you want to want them to think that the product is the best, or whatever that may be. This is now a psychological game. You see this in politics as well, where they're playing psychological games very, very fiercely. And so what they're trying to do is manage their perception of the general populace. And if you actually meet with these guys and talk with them, say in a back room, a lot of them are lawyers, and lawyers deal in strategy. And you can see that they think strategically about these things. Now, if you go to an engineer, they think logically about things, and they can deduce information and come up with solutions in a very mechanical, logical, direct way. Lawyers do it strategically, and playing on emotion and value systems and things like that. Now, business is a combination of those two, and so you have to bring that marketing aspect to it. You have to bring that product, that customer attention, that service, all that softer part. And you bring actually the product that's a lot of times mechanical, or an actual physical product, or a service, or a process, or something like that. So all these things you can see coming together. In Texas Hold'em, it's actually those aspects are there. So when you play and you get really good, and if you are in the business world, you begin to see that there's a lot of correlations, and there's a lot of correlations in politics, and that's the next level of thinking that you get to. So usually people learn how to do something, and then you learn how to run a process or manage people, and not necessarily in this order, but then you learn strategy, and this understanding other people's strategy and understanding other people's thinking is kind of really the next level of being effective on a much larger scale. So think of it as kind of like the general. He understands a lot, and he understands strategy, and he understands resource allocation, and he understands psychology, and he understands technology trajectory. And so Texas Hold'em pulls a lot of that in if you're playing it at a real hardcore level. So anyway, my favorite game, and you should learn it, and you should really learn it if you're going to learn it, like really understand it. And it's a powerful game. So there you go.